Hello. Have you ever wished to be a better person, to be smarter, to be more successful, to be a better professional, to be a better partner, to be a better parent? If yes, I want to talk to you today about programming your brain and especially reprogramming it, because this gives you the tools to be a better person. I'm Olga, a rapid transformational therapist and clinical hypnotherapist. And I'm talking to you today about our brain and how to program it and how to reprogram it. So just think, how often have you updated apps or programs on your computer, on your phone? How many phones have you changed already in the last couple of decades? And then think of how often you reprogram your brain. It's much more often with the phone than with the brain, am I correct? And the point is that our brain also runs on certain programs. Like if you remember how you learned driving, if you learned driving, that during the lessons you were very excited and stressed and were not able to remember which gear you should use, how to switch the gears, and at the same time to use the pedals and which pedal to use. And then you had to be aware about the traffic around and felt completely lost. Right? But with the effort of your mind, slowly it became better until it became automatic. So if you learn driving and you are driving already for several years, you do everything automatically. You know which gear to use, how to change them, you know which pedals to use, and it takes you very little effort to observe the traffic around. So that if you are driving to work, you're right there and you hardly remember how you drove there, what cars were around, the traffic lights, where you were stopping. So your behavior became automatic. You created a program for driving. You don't need to think about it with your rational mind. You don't need to take any decisions. You're just driving and you're thinking about something totally different. You can talk with your partner, with your child in the car, you can listen to the radio and you can make plans for your day. So your mind is not doing any much effort about driving. It can be occupied with something totally different. And so we are creating such programs since our very early childhood. And those programs can be very different. Like we were learning writing, it was also a hard process until we gained that skill, and we are not any longer concerned about how to write and about spelling, but about the content of writing mostly. Okay, but also our social behavior is based on such programs. Since our very early childhood, we observe how people around are treating each other, how they behave, and we learn from them and we create such programs. Okay, sounds useful and practical, isn't it? That we don't need to think about our complex behavior in interactions and we just can respond and react to our environment. But there is a but. Sometimes it leads us to problems. And just think about childhood. As a child, we are very dependent. And if we have situations that are difficult to us, that hurt us as a child, then a child will feel helpless. Because just imagine a conflict situation at home where parents are fighting with each other and they're not paying attention at all to the child. what the child is feeling, that it doesn't understand what is happening. In the first place, the child cannot understand what is happening. Also, the child cannot interfere and change the situation. It cannot express its pain, it cannot speak up for itself, and it cannot change anything. So, but also, the child cannot leave the situation. It is so hurtful. It has to stay in that environment because the child is dependent on its parents, and it adjusts behavior so that it can coexist in this situation and in this environment. Okay, but the child is learning and creating programs, behavior programs of helplessness. Right. And such programs, they disturb us, or they can lead to big problems in our childhood because they always run in the background. You can imagine it's like a not healed wound inside, and it is as if you are interacting in your adulthood as an adult person with that adult body, but through your eyes is watching not an adult person, but a little helpless child, a hurt child. And sometimes this child will be like as if you are driving in a car and there is sitting a toddler, a scared and upset toddler who will scream and shout and will try to drive your car. A real adult person car, not any longer a toy. So it can lead to problems, and it can lead to also to diseases. It can lead to psychological problems like anxiety and depression, but also physical illness as well. Because every physical illness, every chronic disease or autoimmune disease, it has a part of the psychological root to it as well. Okay, so what is a solution? We need to reprogram our brain. We need to correct those programs. And the good thing is that humans are the only species on the earth that have a plastic brain during the whole life. Right? So we are not creating these programs only in our childhood, but we continue to create them or changing them also during our adulthood, the whole span of our life. And when we want to change something, when we feel that something is disturbing in our life, we need to change those programs that are laying not in our rational mind. And the part of our rational mind is 5 to 10% maximum. That means that rationally we take decisions in our life only to 5 or 10%, and the rest is running on such programs. And these programs are really deep, and we cannot access them, and it's very difficult to change them if we try just with rational efforts. Right? Because the rational mind is limited in its capacity, but also very slow. Just remember how you were learning driving, right? It is very slow. And subconscious mind, because it is automatic, it is wired in our nervous system, it is very fast and it's so vast. So you need to access that subconscious mind in order to change your behavior, in order to create behavior and that personality that you want to be more successful, to be a better person, to be the best version of yourself. And I use rapid transformational therapy. I used it for myself and I use it with my clients. And rapid transformational therapy has all the tools to investigate, to learn these programs that are were created in the childhood, but also to interact them and to install new programs. If you're interested, you can contact me, and just remember, your behavior is not your personality. It is a part of automatic programs, subconscious programs that you created. But you can reprogram them and create new, better programs. But for that, you need to access your subconscious mind. Thank you very much for your attention, and see you next time. Bye-bye.